Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Good afternoon. Hope you are all well. Welcome to another edition of Walk and Talk with your brother Asif AJ and with Abdul Jabbar, who's just getting himself organised.
How are you doing, guys?
I thought I'd catch him whilst he's off guard there. How are you, AJ, today? Are you well?
Welcome to everybody, Slams, and we're just doing another vlog in local park. I hope you can recognize it, you guys from Bradford. So, Asif.
Abdul Jabbar, how have you been this week? Have you had a productive week this week?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I've just started a little course and got exams.
What course have you started? Tell us all about it. I'm sure the listeners want to know out there what course you started.
SIA course to get a job, get updated on security work. So helps with applying for jobs and maybe probably get a job.
Inshallah.
Security work.
Inshallah. So all the retail security sort of like shops will be a lot more safer knowing that Abdul Jabbar is in there walking the beat, protecting all the innocent civilians out there. Alhamdulillah. So yeah, we're here in a park in Bradford again. This is another location. Last week we were at the local cemetery, but this time we've chosen a local park. It's not too far away. So a quick.
As if I rang you and I said to you, we're going to go to this park, and you says, I can't go there. And
He's right as well. I wasn't too keen on coming here, but everything's changed since I've come here. The greenery has had an effect on me straight away.
I like this park because over the last few years I've been coming here, and if you do 4 rounds around the park, it makes 1 mile. So if you do 3 rounds, it does 3 miles. 2 times 4. You get 2 miles, so it's
an interesting fact for those of you that might come to this park and decide to go for a walk. Should we take a walk up there, AJ? So what we're going to discuss this week, we're going to look at some of the more trending kind of issues that have been going on, some things that I'd like to share, maybe some things that Brother Abdul Jabbar would like to share. So we're going to have a mixed bag again. We're going to try to keep it as kind of light-hearted and kind of not only entertaining but also informative for you, inshallah, as well. Okay, so watch your space. So, and please, one thing I do want to say to all of the listeners out there, viewers out there, is that if you have any ideas, any suggestions, any comments that you want to make of how we can improve this production, how we can enhance the material, etc., please feel free to add a comment on the bottom of this video. Okay, so me and Brother Abdul Jabbar is doing his research, looking into how we can improve our vlogging, how we can improve our productions. And we will, inshallah, invest some more money and time in this production of ours. Isn't that right, Mr. Brother Jabbar?
Yes. We were just talking earlier. One of the local businesses has offered to give a room and get involved in our podcasting and vlogging, and has shown keen interest. So we'll be making inquiries into that. There's other things that we're looking at is how to get more graphics on our videos, and so this is basically, because it's a new venture for us, we thought we'll make a start on it, and as we go along we will start improving and trying to learn more things and adopt them in.
Yeah, so Hollywood, you better watch out because we're on our way now. We're coming. Yeah. We're up and coming. We've got Brother AJ here. He's going to be the next big producer and director of future films coming soon, shortly. Right.
Apparently the new movie that's coming on, we'll talk about that in as we go along. So
there was a topic that I wanted to discuss, Brother AJ, if you don't mind me saying. This week, alhamdulillah, I finished the Quran. After probably approximately maybe 4 years of reading this Quran. And Brother AJ, I was one of those kind of guys that found it hard to commit to reading the Quran. I used to find it hard to even open the Quran at times. I'd kind of have it sat on my shelf for months on edge, and maybe, I don't know, on a particular occasion I'd open it up, read it, and then close it and put it away again. But something inspired me to sort of want to start reading the Quran. Something inspired me to want to go through the interpretation of the Quran, to read some of the commentary of the Quran, just to enhance my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because that was one of the key things when I had a conversation with one brother, and he said to me, Asif, even if you can read 5 lines on a daily basis, 5 lines just to make a commitment to this, to establishing some kind of relationship with the Quran. So 5 lines of Arabic, 5 lines of English, and that way you get so much more out of it. And he said, make it a consistent habit, because Allah loves the people who do things consistently. It's not about how much you do, it's more about making the action, embedded in your life on a daily basis. And that's what I've been doing, and I've been reading and persevering. Alhamdulillah, this relationship gets enhanced the more you do that, and the more you, when you don't do it, you do actually miss that time that you spend with the Quran. It might be a brief time, but it's a very valuable time, AJ. I mean, what's your experience been like? I mean, is there any thoughts that you have on sharing on this?
We could talk about what experiences we have. Basically, one of the common areas that we lack in, and that's organizing how we're gonna study Islam, study Quran, and one of the things I noticed, obviously, as I was growing up and trying to connect and trying to do my research on the Quran, is that a lot of people, because of our the background, we weren't trained, or we weren't cultured in how to organize our study. So, but the thing is, we've alhamdulillah, we've learned and we've carried on. And one thing is that we try to learn as much as we can in one go. Although that's good, but obviously it's better to learn in, like you're saying, in
Small chunks.
Small chunks.
We call it bite-sized chunks.
Bite-sized chunks. And that you can, that's used in schools, used in other fields as well, like in training, your weight training, your exercises, and trying to do whatever you do. You will not straight away be able to get to your aim. Obviously, if you're overweight, you want to lose weight, you have to have a plan.
We'll discuss the health and fitness aspect another later time.
I'm just explaining the rational way of looking at this and how we use it in different spheres. So it's very important to 5-10 ayahs a day, read the translation, and then obviously on top of that you can listen to different qaris that will help you to get the pronunciation right. You've got the tajweed, you can get the qaida, which goes through the tajweed rules and brush up on them.
I think if I may, I think a key thing here is, brothers and sisters, is that everybody has a way of connecting with the Quran. How you find that is a journey that you need to have and you need to discover in your own way. But the key thing is embarking on that journey, is taking that first step, because Allah will make it that kind of step easier for you if you're trying to draw closer to Him. So the point of the discussion here is about you making that concerted effort. And I think with me, with my experience, and what I found was that I was prompted and inspired by some of the things people advised me on, and that kind of made me invest my time and effort in that. Because how much time do we devote to reading Quran? Realistically, how much time do we devote to everything else in our lives? Things that we want to pursue, whether that's social media, whether that's time with our friends and families, maybe it's in our careers, maybe it's in our hobbies. We spend a lot of time doing that. We invest a lot of time, we invest a lot of money, but how much time do we give to reading the Quran? I mean, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah how the Quran will intercede for us. But if you don't have a relationship with the Quran, how will it intercede for you? What will it do for you? It will not be there for you because you don't have a relationship with it. So, like everything else that you have in life.
And as non-Arab speakers, we do need to learn what the Quran means. What is Allah trying to tell us in the Quran, and to get a better understanding, and translations are there just to provide like some kind of a understanding of that. And it's very important to, if you're gonna start, like you've taken 4 years, don't worry about the time scale. I mean, sometimes we get into like set up a target or try to win a race. This is not about race, this is about understanding and being able to improve your own understanding as well as how to apply it in your life. Otherwise, it becomes, you
Parrot
get
fashion,
knowledge,
isn't it?
You get the knowledge, but if you can't apply it in your life, and you can't.
I mean, there's a beautiful saying, I think, I don't know if it's a hadith or what, but there's a time will come where the Quran will be recited. It will be recited by a lot of people, but it won't go beyond, our throats. So meaning that it won't affect our personalities, it won't affect us as people, it won't change the way we view life and how we address life. And the point of the deeper study is to, that Quran becomes an embodiment of us. It affects us. It affects it just like it affected the Quraysh, affected the Muslims of the time of Rasulullah. When they heard the Quran, it affected their personalities, it affected their characters. And the question we have to ask ourselves is that we have this book. We have the book that changed, the political kind of and the social economic order of the time. So, what impact is it having on you? Are you reading it, putting it back on the shelf, and forgetting about it? And what real impact is it having on your life? So, the point Brother AJ is making there is that if you read a little, but let that impact you, let it affect you, contemplate on it, think about it.
What I would say is also is in the last chapters, the small surahs. If you want to start with small surahs, it's not about starting from beginning to end. If you're going to start from the beginning, set a time frame for that, and also the small surahs at the end, try to get an understanding of them. They're very important surahs because they were revealed in Makkah at the beginning, where the Prophet ﷺ and his Sahaba, they were in Makkah, and all these they were being cultured by the Prophet ﷺ, taught the Quran, although at the beginning for I think 3 years it was done in private, in secret, but after 3 years the Prophet ﷺ would invite all and sundry in public to these surahs, and they were addressing different topics. So the end surahs, the shorter surahs, give you a sense of the dawah that was taking place, and then also the struggles that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving surahs talking about, different, very different and very strong surahs, and giving hope and inspiration to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba through that. So there's many ways of doing that, but if you plan and you organize yourself, you can achieve success. And alhamdulillah, I congratulate and give Mubarak to my brother Asif, who's taken his time, 4 years to complete. And believe me, this is not about quickly finishing a race or getting the target or putting a tick on the box. This is more personal. It should be more about
it's adding value to your life. I think that's what my experience was. And I think the reason why I spoke about this today is not to sort of announce the fact that I've read Quran, but I think more about sharing it with you, so that just like I was inspired to do it from hearing from others, I think it's good to share that experience with others, so that maybe they might be inspired and they might do something like this. So that's what the take-home message is, brothers and sisters, is that invest not just in this lifetime, invest in your akhirah as well. And the Quran, the Quran is the book of books, is the book that that changed the world. So we should have that. It should be something that we have embedded in our lives, and if it's not, then we need to really think why it's not, and we need to take action.
This is a mu'jiza. It's one of the miracles of Allah. The mu'jiza is meaning that it was a miracle that is still amongst us. Other nations, their miracles were for a certain time, a certain place, a certain instant. But with the Prophet ﷺ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him this mu'jiza that is amongst us. And it is there for us to have, to understand, to take away. And if we're not doing that, we know what happened with the previous nations when they started forgetting or were not able to understand the message or what Allah's word was, or Allah's message was to them was, it slowly started diluting it. So with the Quran, we must understand what is Allah trying to tell us.
Okay, brothers and sisters, that was the short kind of vlog that we've done there on the Quran. So take home message, brothers and sisters, if you're not reading Quran, take the time out, invest time, put a slot in your day where you can do that. Maybe it's 15-20 minutes. Make it an exercise that you get into doing regularly, and once you do it regularly, inshallah, you will develop that. But make sure that time that you spend is of quality time, that even if you're reading five verses from the page, make those 5 verses count.
And
Make them ingrain in you. Let them kind of like, really kind of sink in. So it's a quality of the study rather than a quantity of study. And have more depth in that study as well, so you get more out of that in particular action. Any last words, AJ?
That was very well explained, Asif. And we are continuing.
The rain is coming down on us
and
now.
the mercy of Allah is descending upon us. This is mercy. With every
Raindrop.
raindrop, an angel is bringing it down and bringing it all the way down. So imagine how many angels are coming down with the drop. I mean, this is not something, that, sometimes we think, we get told that, how do you know there's angels? How do you know what's true in the Quran? And this is another thing that, because we know that the Quran is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so everything in the Quran is got to be 100% true without a shadow of doubt. And if we understand that, because that's the basis, belief in a creator, we've got to be 100% convinced. The Quran is, we have to be 100% convinced that it is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that it contains everything which is true. So if we cannot explain that, we need to also study and to be able to do that, because in this current environment where people are asking about Islam, asking about the Prophet ﷺ, about the message of Islam, the various things, we have to be able to give answers that are convincing and that are not there for we're not making these things up, or we're not trying to dodge any.
Okay, Brother AJ, I'm going to cut you off there because we're going into 20 minutes now, so I think we'll quit on that vlog there. So Jazakallah khair, brothers and sisters, for listening. If you enjoy this and you have any ideas or suggestions, please add your comments on the bottom of this video, inshallah. Watch out for the next one.